No, whatever. Welcome back to Podcast the Hero.
There you go.
Yeah. Nobody said anything funny.
Yeah.
Nobody made it sound like they were doing something weird. Nothing.
You
So I just started the episode.
Should have done it yourself.
Today we're joined by a very special guest, Charlie Griffiths. He's from several different projects, Haken, and his own solo project, which is Tiktaalika. Is that right? Did I say it right?
Tiktaalika, yeah. Yeah.
I got many questions about that later on.
Right.
But now we got to do some friggin' housekeeping.
Yeah, so...
Isn't that right, Fritzy? And I don't even know.
It's brought to you by Cornbot. He's back.
He's back with a vengeance.
He recharged his batteries and now is tearing us to shreds.
We guilted him into coming back.
We're also brought to you in part by Absolutely the Best Podcast. We're
sponsored by another podcast.
We are. Do you like podcasts? I mean, I figure if you're watching this or listening to this, you like podcasts.
I don't.
Do you like ranking things? Cheese? Do you like to rank stuff? Like, this is the best thing, and then this is...
If I had to rank that on the things that I like, I'd put it bottom.
Bottom?
It's my least favorite thing. Ranking things.
Oh, I love ranking things. I love...
You love fucking wanking things. It's different.
Yes, truth. Do you like superheroes, Cheese?
I actually do not.
Yeah, see? You don't like anything about it. But if you do... check out Absolutely the Best Podcast. George and Zach are ranking. Their podcast is basically, they rank all the best things. And the first thing they're doing is the Marvel Universe. So they're going through and doing Marvel Universe ranking. Check them out every week on Absolutely the Best Podcast. And
I'm going to listen to it and get back next week about whether I like it or not.
Yeah. But also thank them for their support.
And thank them for their support, yes.
We're also brought to you by our patrons.
Here we go.
And the list. Here comes the list.
Buckle up, Char.
I said last week that I was going to sort them by tier, but I can't figure out how to do that.
See. You like wanking stuff, not ranking it.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to make it go in tier order. So anyway. Oh, wait. I think I just sorted it.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. It's not going to be like it usually is. It's not going to, it's a different order now. Underscore.
That's the first name is just underscore?
Yep. Ashwin.
God damn it.
Austin Matthews looks like a young Ron Jeremy. Brett Boss Blackwood. G. Gordon, the Hindenburg Blue. It's Liddy, you dumb fascist.
What?
And it's a G. Gordon Liddy joke, I think.
Oh.
I think Rhodey and Fritzy should cosplay Star Trek characters or their own Star Trek original characters. It would be neat. They would. In Steven Exposure, High Tops, Rob the Anti-Human, Rhodey Loves My Dink, Zach, Julia, another Zach, A Common Thread, a disappointing and unsatisfactory fart, Dave the Film Guy, Deconomist, Dimitri, Timpod the Picklecast Sack, Fire Thief, Foolish Bale, Mitch, Progtoff, Rhodey, are you willing to address the rumors that your living room has been selected as the location for this year's Little B something? I don't...
What the fuck?
Say. I don't know. Spitgoth Yuri is a result of a spray fart. Pegged position and search for the poop. Emma Aaron. Absolutely the Best Podcast. Adrian from Baltimore. Allie. Benjamin. Bob. Fruit. Give us the country, Rhodey. I like to twirl my pubes into old-timey villain mustache and pretend my dink is going to tie up my scrot on the train tracks.
Holy fuck.
I swallow cum. I'm Lou Lamoureux's razor blade, and I am so tired. Jake, Jeffrey, Jesse, please repent for your sins by blank. What do you want Jesse to do? Yo,
what?
Josh, KH Pandas. Paprika is by far the best flavor of chips. I'm deeply offended.
That is
Peggy
fucking
Thrill.
insane.
Roscoe Sebastodon. Sorry, I left it like that for another week. Fritzy, I meant to change it to unwilling victim of farts. Tariff. Oh my god, I can't. Mira. How do you say Arif's last name?
Mir Abdul Baki.
Yeah, it's Tariff.
Tariff Mir Abdul Baki. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Taylor, TBJ, the final Dan, the rat that formerly lived in Rhodey's butthole but now lives in his beanbag chair, Viva Hate, Yes I Be a Newfoundlander by, and Zane.
All right.
Ugh.
Holy heck. Sorry, Charlie. Those are the people who support us. They're rude.
Yeah. New music, Cheese. There's significant new music in the world right now.
That's true. And Charlie, you feel free to jump in on this. You actually have new music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling the new music that Fritzy wants to talk about is the new Propagandhi.
It is.
Yeah.
We'll talk about your
that.
new music in a minute, Charlie. Jeez. At Peace.
At Peace. Have you heard it, Char?
I haven't heard that one.
It's real good.
I saw it come up
Nice.
and I didn't get to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real good. I feel like it belongs on supporting cast.
Oh, really?
It has that feel to me.
Yeah, it does have that feel. I thought, I woke up to a text message from our former drummer, Michael Arati, and he was like, check it out. And I put both my headphones in and listened, first thing I did before my coffee. And there is a maturity to Chris's voice that I had not heard before. And at first I wasn't sure if I loved it, but I listened to it probably 100 times that day to the point where my son now knows a lot of the lyrics. And I fucking love it. I can't wait for the record of the same name, May 2nd.
Yeah, really excited. It's really good. I got a text from Ashwin the minute it dropped, right after midnight, and he was like, "Oh my god!" He was freaking out, and it's been sort of on repeat.
Yeah, and myself as well.
Yeah, and do yourself a favor and check out the official lyric video that Epitaph put out. It's really cool animation to go along with the song, and it's not your typical lyric video. It's pretty good. So anyway, Charlie, you have music? Yeah,
I have music.
What is it?
I have music. My own music, or
your music. What's your new music?
It's an album. It's this. You can kind of see it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Gods of Pangaea. It's the album.
That's a scary time in world history, Pangaea.
It was a long time.
Yeah, everybody had access to everybody else. It's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. You could walk everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Terry Fox would have had a horrible time. Is there significance to the spelling of Pangaea, or am I just stupid? Because I thought it was Pangea, but there is, on the record, it's spelled Pangae.
Well, I thought the extra A was just normal.
Oh, okay, so it is just a matter of me being stupid.
And then since I've been talking about it, there's an American spelling apparently.
Yeah, we do that.
That is the difference.
We leave stuff off all the time.
Yeah,
we don't put A's in a lot of stuff that British people do.
And I guess it's a Canadian spelling as well. The non-A.
Well, yeah, that's the weird thing is we usually do go along with the British spelling of most things.
Yeah,
But
you probably were
never
looking
seen
at the
that
wrong
spelling of
Google.
Pangaea.
You were looking at the wrong Google, Cheese.
Oh, right.
You were looking at the U.S. Google.
Well, it's kind of spelled wrong anyway, because the word means the Gia part means Gaia.
Mm.
The kind of embodiment of the planet, whatever.
It
just means all of the planet.
So does that mean it's all world music? Is it a world music record?
It's the most world music
Awesome.
you can imagine. Yeah.
How much didgeridoo
I gotta say,
was on it?
when you sent me the song, I read through the lyrics, and while I was singing them, I was like, I get the distinct impression that Charlie's pretty horny for the planet.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought I disguised it a bit more than that, but
You're going to be sadly
no metaphors whatsoever.
disappointed.
It was just a love letter to the planet.
It's pretty screwed.
That is why also at the end of my recording, I think I yelled "fuck the planet."
yeah, you did. Yeah, it was like I almost included it in
I respect you not including it.
it was just for time. For time.
So your main band is Haken.
Yeah, my main band's Haken. Yeah.
For the entire time that I spent an inordinate amount of time looking for another band that I was convinced existed that does not exist, called Haken, Hakken. And I was going to ask you about so very similar names, all this stuff. It was like one of those, like what the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Where for the longest time, I thought there was an 80s hair band spelled Hakken. And I have come to find that is not true. There is no band with that name that I have always thought existed.
Wow.
And so I had to figure out what other bands you guys weren't. So you're not Hawkwind.
No.
You're not Harkonnen, which is a old hardcore band. And you're not Mika Hakkinen, the race car driver. So I don't know what a Haken is.
We're not Van Halen.
No, not Van Halen. So there's a lot of bands that you guys aren't. So what is Haken?
Well, you just delete all those things, and then
it's everything else.
What's left is
wonderful. I also had a question. What did guitar headstocks ever do to prog guitarists? Like, why do you guys hate them so much?
Oh man!
I assume if you tried to play guitar with a headstock, your arm would fall off. Like it's just under the weight.
I was just I was at the Underworld in the Underworld. You guys played there or been there? Mm-hmm. Just the other Sunday night, I was there. It was Darth, Beyond Creation, and Cynic. I watched 3 bands. Like not one headstock appeared.
Not a single fucking headstock.
Where do you keep your cigarette?
Ridiculous. It seemed ridiculous. Yeah.
Where do you keep your cigarette when you're playing if you don't have a headstock?
Yeah, that's why I don't smoke.
That's the only thing holding them back from smoking is a spot. I
don't have a place to put it. Can't start smoking now.
I don't know how. Yeah.
Yeah, Haken would be a very Canadian pronunciation. You know what I mean? Like I know it's Haken, but when I see it, just the Canadian me goes, "That's Haken. You be fucking hacking a dart with Charlie over there outside the LCBO at 9:00 in the morning, waiting for it to fucking open."
Oh, the Liquor Control Board of Ontario.
Yeah,
the LCBO.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You play a lot of 8-string?
Yeah.
That's too many strings.
It's I was an early adopter of the 8-string.
Yeah.
Mainly because of funds. Really, lack of funds, because rather than having 3 guitars, for different tunings, or I could only really afford to have one good guitar. So I picked the one that had all the notes on it, really, so it was...
it does? Yeah. It has all the notes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I think
great.
It's got a couple extra as well.
Are the 2 the 2 extra strings are lower, right? Both are lower?
Yeah. Yeah.
How come they don't make one with a higher one?
You can do it, but...
the string would be really thin.
But, yeah...
Probably be horrible.
I think people that have tried that have trouble with like breakages on their top string. Yeah.
Did you consider just gluing two basses together to get 8 strings?
No, not gluing.
Basses have 4 strings. Glue 2 of them together, you get 8. I'm curious about it. I've never played anything but a 6 string. I'm scared of the lower notes.
Yeah.
I don't know what they
You
are
never
or
played a
how they
bass?
go. Yeah, I played the bass.
But have you played a 6 string?
Strings?
4. Like a bass. Basses have 4 strings.
Yeah. So you played a 4 string.
No,
Fritzy, what line of questioning is this? You fucking.
It was really just to say you only have 4 fingers. You can't possibly do 8 strings all at once. And so I was just curious.
You can't play 6 fucking
bar
chords and shit. Fritzy, where are you going with this?
I'm just curious. I don't know.
Charlie, what is the Tikta in Tiktaalika?
Well, it's a Tiktaalika.
Yeah.
What?
It's Tiktaalika.
Tiktaalika. It's
cheese.
It's a Canadian thing.
Is it Canadian?
Yeah. Here's a visual aid. Got one. Got one.
Oh.
It's an animal?
Yeah.
It's you know Ellesmere Island?
I think I've heard of it.
It's like I think it's like Arctic region, Canada.
Let me see.
Find it on a map.
Ellesmere Island. Island in Canada.
It's big. I'm pretty sure it's big.
This is just showing me Greenland.
Pretty sure.
Okay, it's pretty far north, yeah?
Yeah. It's big though, right?
And then it's some sort of reptile around there?
Well, it was like in prehistoric times. 375 million years ago.
There aren't that many years.
So there's a guy called Neil Shubin. He's a professor at like University of Chicago or something like that. He's a paleontologist and geologist.
Okay.
And so he kind of figured out, like, based on the existing fossil record, say, like, at this point, we only find fossil fish.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, we find kind of 4-legged reptile type creatures. So he kind of pinpointed, if we find like halfway in between that, there should be a transition between fish and reptiles.
Okay.
So there's about 4 or 5 spots on the Earth's surface that has the right age rock to find such a thing.
So and this place crawling from the sea and devolution and shit like that?
Yeah. So this place in Ellesmere Island has this certain age of rock, and it's the type of place you can only travel there like a couple of months per year because it's so cold and it's
northern.
You have to wait for it to kind of melt and have access to the correct rock formation. And I think after a couple of years, they found a fossil or a bunch of fossils in this certain layer of this thing that was like a kind of fish at the back end, and then at the front end it's like a kind of crocodile head.
Yeah.
Okay.
With these, like, the fins had started to kind of grow bones like fingers. Like,
wow.
So it was that first thing that could crawl out the water.
I gotta say, I didn't think it was gonna be that for real. Like, because of the like Metallica ending of it, I thought it was gonna be way sillier than that. It's not cool at all. It's sick as fuck.
All I did was add an A. That's the only addition, just to put an A at the end. But so that's a Tiktaalika.
And how did you? Are you?
Wait, is it actually called a Tiktaalika?
It's called a Tiktaalika without the A.
Okay.
And it's from the native. I think they're called like Nunavut people.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think they asked them, like, what would you call this? And they said, what is it? And they said, it's like a fish. And they said, it's a Tiktaalika, which just means like large fish.
Yeah. In the storied history of Canadian people misunderstanding the indigenous.
Yeah.
Like it's how the country got its fucking name.
Yeah. So I always thought that was like a cool name. So
are you like a big fan of like geology and dinosaurs and?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay.
I find that subject interesting and inspiring. Say that.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of dinosaurs. Modern ones, like birds, snakes,
ostriches.
Yeah, all birds are essentially just dinosaurs trying to eat you. I'm afraid of them. Yeah. This also made me think of Muddy the Mud Skipper from Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, I mean it's essentially what it is. Yeah.
This is a more musical question. I read an interview that you did with Invisible Oranges. Do you recall this interview?
Yeah.
And you said that standard tuning is old school tuning.
Yeah.
But it's called standard tuning. That means it's the standard.
Yeah. I mean old school in a kind of
derisive way.
No,
yeah, you just hate it. It's like people who play in standard tuning is
in a respectful way, being that
okay,
like you have to, do as they did, kind of thing.
Do you think that like bands like PTH that do a lot of stuff at just like E flat, it's like, come on, just fucking tune down already. Come on, you means.
Yeah.
Yeah, tune up.
Pick one.
Half a step.
Half a step up. Either go half a step
standard.
up or go like 6 steps down.
Yeah. Well, it kind of goes back to your point of like, why bother playing 8 strings?
Yeah.
It was like, I feel like that as well. It's like, you sometimes feel like it's like a crutch almost.
Really?
Like, this, it's kind of easier to write heavy sounding stuff when you're down tuned.
Mm.
You can trick yourself into thinking, this is really heavy, but standard tuning is like the leveler. If you can come up with something you feel like is heavy.
Mm.
In the tuning,
really good point. Yeah,
like the Metallica use that, tuning, Anthrax.
But I kind of think like if you can write something heavy in standard, and it's like heavy as fuck, then you should tune it down, and it'll be even heavier.
Speaking of Metallica, you mentioned now Metallica and Anthrax. I think I've seen that you're a fan of Megadeth.
Yeah.
So how did you go from like being a fan of thrash to being a prog guy? Like, how does that evolution work?
Well, I mean, I was, when I was a teen, I was like heavily into all the thrash bands kind of thing, and that's what made me want to play guitar. And then I went to guitar school.
What?
And
they have school for that?
Yeah. and so this was like in the 90s in London. And all the tutors there were like London-based guys, but they'd sort of recently come back from LA, like GIT.
Mm-hmm.
They'd been studying there and come back to London and started their own version of it, kind of thing.
Cool.
So they're all like super fusion jazz kind of guys, and so it was basically that. Like it was like they made you one of them, you know. So at that point, I just stopped listening to metal and just would only listen to like fusion and jazz and and that kind of.
Then at some point, the metal comes back and it turns into like really progressive. Metal.
Exactly. Yeah, and then it was like, you know, to me, I came back to metal later on, but I had a big kind of detour into studying all this other stuff. And
I mean, that's awesome. That is what like creates like eclectic sounds, right?
Yeah.
But I gotta say,
jazz?
I do love like all the throwback stuff to like Megadeth, like the art, which I believe is done by Dan Goldsworthy.
Yeah.
Right, who fucking rules.
Amazing.
Like it's just like that like cool ass like late 80s, early 90s Megadeth kind of shit that was going on. Like I don't know how he encapsulated it so well, but it's like I fucking love the cover of that album. It's wicked.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like well, the guy is the original guy is Ed Repka. Like, all those Death albums and Megadeth and Atheist and a bunch of others like mine's gone blank, but he did quite a lot of covers in those days. And, you know, I always love that look of like it's been painted or like airbrush, whatever, or however he did it, kind of thing. You know, I much prefer that to like the Photoshop look of images compiled. You know, because you can kind of see how it's done almost, kind of thing nowadays. And you know,
I mean, I think. Oh, go ahead, Cheese.
I was just gonna say it's interesting how like cyclical it is because like I'm sure we all went through a period of like you see fucking Rust in Peace and you're like, wow, that looks awesome, and then like a couple years go by and you're like, that's corny as fuck. But then you kind of look at it now and you go like, it's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? Like it's a strange like cyclical path that it takes.
Yeah.
But I think that like this is like excellently timed.
Well, you got to sort of embrace that corniness, you know, in a kind of, you know, metal is like an inherently ridiculous genre, right? It's like it's stupid. It's like
and I like that is the thing, like that it's like that art has like a self-awareness about it that it's like, yo, this is cool, it's badass, but it's also funny, and it's like.
I don't know if you saw the like the. I mean, like the back cover is almost funnier, I think.
I didn't see the back.
The front is like this guy, and then the back is like.
Oh, sick
dinosaurs!
And then the gatefold is like an expanded.
Like this is a huge piece of art.
Yeah, I mean that's just so good.
That's awesome. Like it kind of looks like some of the older dinosaur children's books. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean I used to like have all those. I used to just stare at those pictures, like those again, like they were hand painted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they just look amazing. Yeah, I would try and draw them and fail.
Is that what Dan did? Did Dan hand paint that whole thing?
I mean, he works like digitally, but he kind of goes between like iPad. So he's drawing everything on Procreate, I think he uses, and then and then he kind of blends it. You know, he uses Photoshop to sort of composite the elements.
Yeah. That's really cool. Like I've been, you know, I'm trying to learn art stuff, trying to learn to draw and paint and whatever. And I've been watching a lot of tutorials, and like a lot of people are using both, right? They're like physical and digital together, scanning things in, drawing stuff out on paper, scanning things in, then working with it in Procreate or Photoshop, and then printing it out, and then hand painting things, and it's really cool.
That's great. yeah, like I love all that. You know, like
How many of those guitar heads can you use at once?
uh,
You have.
one
I
at
see
a time.
4. How many
I've
are
used
there?
one at a time, but
You can only do one.
I do one at a time. I got this this switcher here,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's like been a recent addition where I can
Just hit a button.
leave everything plugged in
Yeah.
and just like select the amp by the push of a button. So I can have them all turned on at once
Yeah.
and then switch between them for different.
That's like
I feel like you're
Different
compensating
versions.
for your
dream.
you're
setup
compensating
right
for your lack of headstock with like heads. You know what I mean? Like no heads, lots of heads. That is sick, though.
Do you I was telling Cheese before you got here, you guys, Haken is a much proggier band than Protest.
Yeah,
And like, I know you guys have done like Cruise to the Edge, right? And stuff like that. Like, that's super proggy.
Yeah.
Like, Yes, and Gentle Giant and King Crimson and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
did you, when you got, like, how did you get into listening to like essentially 70s prog rock bands? Because I can totally hear the influence in your guys' music, and it's like, I talked to Rhodey, who's in a prog metal band, and he's never even heard of those bands before.
Yeah.
I've heard of those bands. I just never heard them.
I think it was just really from, that kind of route I was talking about earlier on, like that kind of fusion and jazz kind of tuition I had. And, a lot of that stuff goes hand in hand with like King Crimson and Yes, and and also all those bands are from the UK. So it's like almost to me it feels like more like my culture almost.
Sure.
Well.
Your heritage, yeah.
Yeah, like out of all those bands, it was like Gentle Giant was the one that I loved the most.
Yeah,
because they were just more rock and roll with it. They weren't so perfect. Like Yes is like sounds pristine and perfect.
Yeah,
but Gentle Giant has a kind of more of a swagger. Like they're more like working class.
Sure,
and just had more groove and a swing to them that I like. Yeah,
like I think 21st Century Schizoid Man from King Crimson is like, I think that's maybe everybody's entry point to King Crimson.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, I didn't listen to 70s prog until I heard that song and went, this is sick. And then listened to everything that King Crimson did.
Yeah.
And like, that really got me into
like amazingly, that song was like 1969, maybe.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah. Did you know that King Missile is not King Crimson? Do you know the band King Missile?
No.
They had a big hit in the 90s called Detachable Penis.
What?
Yeah. It was like a Billboard hit. It was like in the top 20 modern rock songs on Billboard.
No. Called Detachable
Penis. Yeah. And it's about a guy who left the house and forgot his detachable penis. Yeah.
And everybody thought
for a long
King
time
Crimson
I thought
reason?
King Crimson and King Missile were the same band.
But you was wrong.
I was.
Why would you call it detachable and not attachable?
That's a really good question.
I gotta think, because for the most part, you are wearing it.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
would think.
But isn't like the useful part is you can attach it to use it.
Yeah.
But he's like,
yeah.
Yeah, just keep it in your night drawer. Yeah, I fucking sometimes wish I didn't have any penis at all. Like anytime I got to be in shorts or sweatpants, just going like, not trying to show anyone my deck right now.
Hmm.
See, that's the thing. You grew up in the UK on like lots of British prog. In Canada, we only had fucking Moxie Fruvis, the Arrogant Worms, and the Bare Naked Ladies. So that's why we sound the way we do.
Yeah.
Seriously, I love all three of those bands, but fuck Giangameshi.
Well, one of my favorite
for all the Canadian listeners.
One of my favorite bands is Canadian.
Oh yeah,
Annihilator.
Oh okay, yeah.
Amazing.
I don't know much of their stuff, but I know they are Canadian. Them and Sacrifice. Is Sacrifice Canadian?
Alice in Hell was one of the best thrash albums ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I want Prog record. I do this all the time. I have a specific question. I have a note about the question that I want to ask, but I didn't give myself the context. But it's essentially this. Rhodey likes to say that Protest the Hero songs have format. There's verses and choruses and solos and whatever. I don't believe him because I can't easily pick them out. When he says, "Oh, there's a solo in the song," I'm like, "No, there isn't a solo in the song. It's just the guitars without vocals over them." So the question I have for you is, do you consider guitar parts without vocals over them? Is that a guitar solo? Just because there's no vocals on top?
No, I don't consider it. Not always. It can be solo.
I feel like he's telling you the inverse of a discussion we've had. Like, I think we have like 2 solos in our entire discography, and they are incredibly
you don't have any
intentional.
Solos. You don't have any solos. There are no solos in a Protest song.
Okay.
It's just guitar parts without vocals.
But I mean, like the guitar parts are so like intricate. I would say
it just is.
I mean, you don't really need to have a solo. It's just.
I'm a fan of a traditional solo. I love a part of a song that just comes in fucking ripping, you know? And I do believe we have a couple of them. You guys got them as well, of course. Fritzy's just tugging our tails here.
I don't believe that they exist. I don't.
You don't believe in the existence of solos?
I also don't believe prog songs have choruses.
Well, that's just not true.
I can't tell when they are. I've listened to a lot of music in my day. I can pick out a chorus with better than anyone. Not in a prog song. Don't know any idea. So you grew up a fan of thrash. What was your first show? Do you remember?
My first show was a Metallica show.
Rhodey, what was your first show?
It was Silverchair, Phoenix TX, and Blink-182.
My first show was Metallica.
Oh, you're doing that thing where you're teaming up on me? You got straight brim hats. Your first show was Metallica. My hat's got a curve, and I fucking saw Blink in 1999.
You said 182.
Yeah.
Not 182. Is that?
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth between saying whichever comes to mind first.
Because I always think it's 182.
Yeah, I do as well. But like then I hear it come out of my mouth. I go, it doesn't sound quite right.
What
Blink 182?
What does the 182 stand for?
I don't know.
I feel like I read that recently, and then
I don't know.
You know, I'm going back on it. I think Blink 182 is way better than Blink 182.
Well, it's quicker to say it.
Which Metallica tour did you see? I'm just using this to gauge your age.
Oh, well, I'm 49.
Okay, so your first Metallica show, this is my guess, first Metallica show was on the Black Album tour?
Slightly before. It was like, it was kind of the tail end of the Justice tour. but
Okay.
they didn't have all the cool Doris on stage
Mm-hmm.
and the white drum kit. And well, maybe they did have the white drum kit, but they had already started using black guitars.
Okay.
And they had the snake pit thing
Yeah.
at Wembley Arena. So it kind of was what the Black Album tour was going to turn into.
Right,
Okay.
right.
But it was all like
so
Justice, Puppets, Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All.
Yeah.
That list. So, yeah.
Yeah. James got burnt on the Black Album tour in Canada.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
which
And
province?
Couldn't play. I'm pretty sure Ontario.
Okay.
And couldn't play for a significant portion of that tour. And they brought in the guitar player from Metal Church to play. And that's when I saw them, was like right after he got caught on fire. And that was 1992.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're roughly the same age. We're much older than Rhodey. He's just a baby.
Wow,
He doesn't like Metallica even.
I've seen Metallica like 5 or 6 times live.
Yeah, but you
that's more than I've seen them.
You say all the time that you don't like them. You just
I've never said
always
once that I don't like them.
And you say all the time that you don't like people who like Metallica.
I didn't say that either.
Yep.
Otherwise,
you did.
our guitarist would fucking murder me.
That's true. That is true.
You got Metallica in your house there? You looking over your shoulder?
Yeah, I was just reminding me of something. I've got a Trent Petrol over here. I got a book. Excuse me.
Do you fart?
Oh, man. I got this book all about James Hetfield's guitars.
Oh,
really?
And the guitar he was playing when he got burnt is in here.
Oh, seriously?
Oh.
And let me find it.
Where did he get burnt?
Like on his arms.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
basically got pyro went off on top, like underneath him,
Cool.
and he did come out and play. He played guitar on Enter Sandman to close the show. Like,
Oh, he did.
It's like
I
a
didn't
big
know that.
deal, but like he had his arm all bandaged up and everything for most of the show, and then he played on Enter Sandman, which was pretty cool.
Trying to find it.
Now,
It's
he's
a lot
known as
of
a very fast down picker.
Yes, because he's
See,
well
I
known
do
for
know
his
Metallica.
down picking skills.
Do you think that's just because he never learned alternate picking?
I think so.
Yeah.
I also
He
think
just
it has to
couldn't be
do
bothered?
with, like, they're very strange in that they don't, like, Lars plays to James instead of the other way around. So, like, he's definitely setting the rhythm for the song and the time that they're playing in, especially live. So, like, when they're in ears, like, Lars is listening to James and playing to James.
Yeah.
Instead of the other way around, which is
So
more typical.
that's-
You play to the drums.
So
So,
it's
like,
James' fault that their tempos are just all over the place live? Is that what
essentially,
you're saying?
yeah.
So with all this, everybody saying Lars sucks is like way off base?
Well, I think it's just because Lars doesn't have the ability to keep the time. Like, if he were the one trying to set the tempo, it wouldn't work.
No.
So James
Yeah.
kind of has to do it.
I gotta
Oh, man, I
say,
can't find
they made one of my favorite movies ever.
Metallica made a movie?
Yo, you haven't seen
Oh,
Some
yeah.
Kind of Monster?
Oh, that one.
Oh.
I think you're going to say the Through the Never one.
Oh, is that the one where it's like an actual like movie, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like some
With like a
guys,
concert.
yeah. No, I'm talking about the documentary. It's so good.
The documentary is very good.
I know. It's like fucking real life Spinal Tap, but they're not joking. But it's just as funny. My favorite's when Lars is like, "We gotta call it frantic, frantic." You would call it frantic, you frantic little fuck.
Oh, There's a clip of him getting his foot run over by a desk chair in the studio.
Oh,
He
Lars.
gets so mad.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's because Bob Rock is about to say something bad about the drums or something.
Yeah.
I think the down picking thing actually probably comes from like the Ramones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
that he grew up on playing that, and it's all kind of like real,
right? Yeah, because
down.
What's his name? Ramones had like a thing with his hand. I forget what it was. He had some sort of disability, and it's like where palm muting comes from because he would rest his hand on the fucking strings because he couldn't hold it off.
I found it. Yeah, it was this double neck guitar. So I guess it was like they were playing. Like they're scorching on the guitar neck.
Cool.
Yeah. That's really awesome. That's a cool book.
Yeah, like you know what the best thing about it is? He wrote my name in it.
Oh wow! That's killer. That's killer. I have a game for us to play, and this game is called Charlie Sheen or Andy Griffith. And I'm going to give you a quote, and you have to tell me.
Who's Andy Griffith?
He's the old guy from the Andy Griffith show. Like he was.
We're too young for this, Fritzy.
Oh come on! You know who Andy Griffith was.
I'm too English.
Andy Griffith. He was like sort of on the Andy Griffith show that ran from 1960 to 1968. He was the town sheriff of Mayberry. It's kind of a quaint American country town, and he's the sheriff. The everything is solved with words.
Now I recognize Don Knotts from this series, but I actually don't recognize Andy Griffiths. I thought I did, but he
also became he went on as an actor to become I think like Matlock or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was Matlock.
No, that's Kathy Bates.
No, he was the original Matlock. Anyway, Andy Griffith. So Charlie Sheen or Andy Griffith? Who said it? So the first quote is, "What they're not ready for is guys like you and I and Nails and all the other gnarly gnarlingtons in my life. That we are high priests, Vatican assassin warlocks. Boom, print that, people. See where that goes." So who said that? Was that Charlie Sheen or Andy Griffith?
It sounds like a Charlie Sheen.
That's got to be Charlie Sheen.
It's Charlie Sheen. The next one is
bananas.
When you're young, you think you'll always be, and as you become more fragile, you reflect and realize how much comfort can come from the past. Hymns can carry you into the future.
Definitely not Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I think that's Andy Griffiths just because it's nice and it's like
it's like a wise old man.
It's Andy Griffith. If you think and feel what you're supposed to think and feel hard enough, it'll come out through your eyes.
I want to say Sheen.
Yeah.
Cheese?
I agree.
You think it's Sheen?
I agree.
It's Andy Griffith.
Really?
It's Andy Griffith.
Wow.
I was being laughed at. I hated it, so I made an adjustment to control the situation. Charlie Sheen or Andy Griffith?
They're both from comedies, though. It's tricky.
I would say Sheen. So, yeah.
I'm going to mix it up and just say Andy Griffith.
It was Andy Griffith.
Right.
Uncertainty is a sign of humility, and humility is just the ability or the willingness to learn.
Andy Griffith.
Trick.
Andy Griffith.
You're saying Griffiths? I'm saying that's going to be Charlie Sheen, I think.
It's
because
Charlie
it
Sheen.
Sounds kind of profound, but it's also bullshit.
It's Charlie Sheen. All right, last one. I'm sorry, man, but I got magic. I got poetry in my fingertips most of the time, and that includes naps. I'm an F-18, bro, and I will destroy you in the air. I will deploy my ordnance to ground.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I think that one's Emilio Estevez.
It's Andy Griffith. No, I'm kidding. It's Charlie Sheen.
So obviously Charlie Sheen has had moments of actual clarity where he made a little bit of sense in his life. And Andy Griffiths.
Sometimes indistinguishable from Andy Griffith. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's time for gifts.
Oh, yeah.
So send cheese.
So you'll have to forgive me. I didn't finish my gift.
This is going to be an easy win for me, I think. I'm going to win this one. I lost last week, but I think I'm going to win this week.
Because I think overall, my gift, it's the idea, and it was a little too ambitious. I thought maybe for your next album, for Tiktaalika, you would possibly give Dan a little break, and I could take over, and I thought maybe you could call it Broads of Pangea. And so what I did was I started making, combining your Tiktaalika artwork with heavy metal, but she's also bald to represent you. But I thought it would be called, it's not quite done, I'd love to put some color in it and, really get it going, but it's Broads of Pangea.
Oh man, it's a little bit too pixelated for me to.
Yeah, because your internet stinks. Send it to him.
I'll scoot it to you.
Send it to him.
Yeah.
I'll scoot it to Fritzy as well.
Yeah.
Let me see. And you gotta use your imagination.
Oh, is that how it works now?
Well, yeah.
So I'll just send you a blank thing and just use your imagination. What's the coolest thing you've ever seen? Now imagine that. That's my gift to you.
I mean, what a gift, though. The gift of imagination.
That's really funny.
I'm still waiting for it, dude.
Sorry, I haven't sent it to you, Fritzy. I sent it to Charlie first.
Oh, okay.
Oh, on the chat thing here?
On Instagram.
No, I think he probably sent it to you on Instagram. Oh. Why does the bird's mouth look that way?
Well, because I was tracing it.
I think you drew it dirty.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
I think it's sort of drawn dirty.
I like it, though.
It looks good, man. You're a good artist.
Oh, thanks. I traced all of it. Let me see. Fritzy's got me here with a Canadian flag, like a true patriot.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly destroying what appears to be the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ah, wow.
So, I am not a patriot in any way, but...
You're becoming one now because you have to.
Well, I am purchasing strictly Canadian products, or just mostly not American products.
Yep.
Based on the fact that your president is attempting to annex our country.
Yeah. So I figured.
So what were you buying before that you're not buying now?
Spinach, which is strangely American made for some reason. Like, it's amazing the stupid things that I'm coming across and being like, why is this made in America?
Yeah.
My gym was an American company. I had left them and they gaslit the shit out of me, being like, we employ Canadians. Being like, yeah, not really the point.
So where are you based?
Cheese is outside Toronto.
Yeah, I'm in Detroit. Outside Toronto.
You're in Detroit.
I'm in Detroit. So I'm the horrible American that's causing all of the ills of the world.
No, I don't blame
it's all my
American
fault.
People for this. I don't even think I blame Trump voters for it, because it's just there is a web of deception that is fucking manipulated them. So
Yeah,
I'm
we've
not
allowed
holding anything against
a system in this country that has given rise to this nonsense. Our system allows it, and we as the people have allowed that system to exist. And so ultimately it is our responsibility to do something about it and take that system
I hope
down.
y'all do before it fucking comes up here and gives us a real headache other than just tariffs.
God.
Man,
I can't imagine.
Tariffs, man. Wow.
I can't imagine that there is anything like it doesn't get him anything financially. At least I don't think so.
What,
like him personally
to
invade Canada?
Yeah, it would be about natural resources, right? It would be about oil and water.
Yeah, but I don't think that gets him anything. And I don't know that he's ever been one to do anything that wasn't completely and totally selfish.
Well,
So
I mean,
I'm
it
hoping-
wouldn't cost him money to have the water shipped.
True.
The water and the oil. So, ultimately, those big industries would fucking probably make him richer somehow.
I guess it also assumes that he plans to just be in control for the rest of his life. Right.
Which is hopefully quite brief.
Yeah. God. I think I got through all of my questions.
Oh, you know what? We didn't ask Charlie whose present he thought was better.
Oh, that's true.
We got swept up because
man,
you're fucking drunk.
You got a brand new one, right? Like just last week or something.
I finished.
What's that?
Your
I
present.
finished mine. He did not finish his.
That's true, but mine was I don't know. I was thinking about you, Char.
It also feels like it was pandering a little bit. Which is also what you did last week.
I just realized you said present. I thought you were saying who's got the best president.
Oh, you were gonna say? Oh, you said we got a new one last week. I was going. I'm not sure where he's going with this, but he's right. He did give gifts last week as well. Excellent knowledge of Canadian politics.
Yeah. Mark Carney? Is that his name?
Mark Carney. No, that's his name.
Yeah, because who do you guys have?
We got a prime minister.
Yeah, but who is
We
he?
also have prime minister.
Keir Starmer.
Oh, yeah.
Keir Starmer.
He was in the United States just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And refused to stand up for Canada. But yeah, what you got to say? Whose president's better?
Oh man, I mean,
and whose president's better?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Obviously Trump.
Yeah,
it's got to be. We don't have a president.
He's been the best.
Because,
he's the best president of all time.
Because sometimes I have to apply for a visa.
Work visa.
And I have to go to the U.S. Embassy. And
you're right. I should shut my mouth. I'm actually in the process of applying for a visa right now.
And I just assume they go and check everything you've said online. So definitely Trump is the best.
Here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fill the internet with me saying a whole bunch of shit, so they got to sift through it to find the fucking stupid stuff I'm saying about what an asshole Trump is.
And I'm going to vote for Fritz's president.
That's right.
Because it had an amazing picture of Rhodey in it.
Yeah.
Very democratic of you.
Yeah.
Unlike Fritzy's president.
He's not mine. I mean, he technically is mine, but I don't want him.
No,
I don't want him so bad. So what are you guys doing now? Are you the Tiktaalika stuff? Is that will you take that on the road?
I haven't really got plans for that, but I want to.
Does that mean you have to take Rhodey with you?
Yeah, every just for one song.
I'd go.
We talked about that recently. Cheese. Eminem took Dido on that one tour for that one song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if I could afford to not change my lifestyle in any way, I would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we people love you on that song. So it's
I love that song, man. It was a lot of
for doing
fun.
it. Thanks again for doing it.
Oh no, thanks for having me. It actually sort of saved my day in a roundabout way. So we were sort of having scheduling trouble with our new stuff, and it came down to a point where I was like, "Fuck it, man." My buddy Malen and I are just going to get together and we're going to record the vocals and we're going to do it. And Luke was really apprehensive about it. And like, I don't blame him at all, but it's like, he just was like, I'm worried you guys aren't fucking professionals in any way. And he's like, I'd like to call our friend Dez and see if that's cool. And Dez had just received a copy of that song from Nolly to be like, hey, your friend learned how to record his vocals okay. Listen to this.
Wow.
And so
cool.
Dez convinced Truk that he was like, they're going to be fine to record the vocals on their own.
Yeah.
So cool. I don't know that I would be done recording vocals for our new stuff if it weren't for recording vocals for your stuff.
Yeah.
I might still be waiting on someone to show up and press record on me.
That's great.
It was a super convoluted story, but
what's
a lot of characters.
What's Haken doing right now?
We're in the first week of April, we're doing Cruise to the Edge.
Oh,
again.
Yeah. You like boats?
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, I love the cruise. Yeah, it's like the best.
The best, Fritzy.
No, I don't like boats. My wife is a huge New Kids on the Block fan, and they do a cruise, but she's afraid of boats, so she won't go.
What do they call it?
I don't know. The New Kids on the Block cruise.
Oh,
I don't think
they should
have
call
a
it
cool
New
name
Kids on
for
the
it.
Boat.
They should.
Yeah,
but I don't think they
foolish
do.
not to. Also, next time Haken comes to Canada, if you guys do a Haken cross Canada tour, you got to call it Haken Darts. Just Haken Darts, and everybody in Canada will go, "Oh fuck yeah, bud!"
I've been wanting to do that, because we've only played Toronto and Vancouver.
Vancouver,
yeah. That's typically how it goes.
There's I want to see the rest.
Montreal, Vancouver.
Yeah.
But
you want to see
cross
Edmonton?
Canada?
You want to go to Calgary?
I want to go there. Yeah.
Oh,
I've
you
been
should
to
see
Edmonton.
Saskatoon or Regina, the city that rhymes with fun. There's nothing to see.
So you said you're going on the cruise. Then anything else?
Then we do we've got
it's certain
some Latin America
season, right?
things.
Oh,
we're playing in what's it called? Bangers Open Air in Brazil.
Oh, nice.
And then we've got some headline shows around South America and Mexico.
Nice.
And
that's nice.
That's about it. I think we got a couple of festivals in the summer.
Yeah.
Nothing, not like a tour or anything. But,
okay.
But we have to kind of knuckle down and write some new stuff.
You got any ideas left?
I mean,
he's got 8 strings. He has all the notes at his disposal. Every single one. Never gonna run out of ideas. I think
I don't know about you, but I'm always just trying to write a simple song.
Simple?
And it's hard to do.
Oh yeah. I
don't know. You should see some of Rhodey's stuff from his Twitch days.
Oh yeah,
those are some simple songs. Yeah.
But thanks very much for doing this, Char. I think all that's left to do is tell the people where they can stick it. So
Yeah,
just to run over it, you just say who you are, what you do, and then tell the audience to eat shit and go fuck themselves.
I can't do that, can I?
Yeah.
Well, you
They would think
you can put your own spin on it if you want.
They would think I'm rude.
You can be
And it
nice
doesn't have
if
to
you
be quite so
want.
harsh.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I've done this whole thing with my laptop.
But they will
plugged in.
be they will be disappointed if you don't punish them a little.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm Charlie from Haken and Tiktaalika, and you're very bad.
I love it. That's so great.
Is he C?